I'm going to read from verse 1. The whole earth was of one language and of one speech. So there was a time when everybody on earth was speaking one language. Alright? I know if I ask you to make a choice and say, which language do you think everybody was speaking? Mikhail will probably tell me they're speaking Creole. But I don't think it's Creole. Whatever the language was, but they all were speaking one language. Now, verse 2 says, it came to pass that as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city, and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. And verse 5, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Verse 6, and the Lord said, behold, all the people is one, and they all have one language. And these they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Do you see that? Now, let me just give you a background on that story. The whole earth was of one language. They all speak one language. It was not a multiracial, multicultural world like we have it today, where you have Indians and Chinese and Lebanese and people from the Mediterranean and all these people. It was just one language that everybody was speaking. And because of that, they were all united. And so one day, one of them had a weird idea. And what was this idea? Let us build a tower or a house that will reach to the very heavens, so that we won't have to be praying to God. We'll just climb the stairs and walk up to God up there. And guess what everybody said? Everybody said, let's go for it. We can do it. Listen to me. There is power in unity. There is power in agreement. If two people agree together that they can do something, it can be done. But more importantly, when you, by yourself, agree within yourself that you can prosper and make it, guess what? You can do it. I'm going to teach you something this morning about the power of your imagination. That's what I'm trying to share with you this morning. But these old people made up their minds that they were going to build a tower whose top will reach to heaven. And the Bible said, they all said, let's go for it, let's do it. And they decided that they were going to do it. And the scripture says, one day God had to come down from heaven to see what they were building. And guess what God said? Point of emphasis in verse 6. Look at what God said to them. God said, behold, Genesis 11 verse 6, the people is one. And they all have one language. Everybody say one language.
One language.
And these they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. In other words, God said all of them have one language. They are all speaking one thing. He said now, there is nothing they imagine to do that will be restrained from them. In other words, your imagination sets the pace for your destination. What you think will eventually happen to you. Many people underestimate the power of their minds or the power of their thoughts. But as the scripture says, a man is what he thinks. Proverbs 23 verse 7. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Your destiny will not be better than the quality of your thoughts. Now, everybody said that with me this morning. Say, my destiny will not be better than the quality of my thoughts. So the thing is this: a sick mind will produce a sick life. A sick mind will produce a sick destiny. What is in your mind? What do you imagine? What do you think about? In the course of a 24-hour day, what are the thoughts that invade and prevail in your mind? Wherever the direction of your thought is going, that is where the direction of your life is going. This is very, very important. Do you know there are many people who allow themselves to be deceived by the enemy to think that they cannot succeed in life? The devil tells some people a lot of lies in their minds and say, do you know you cannot make it in life? Do you know you will not succeed in life? Even some people who are so beautiful, the devil will speak to them and say, do you know you are hungry? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? And then the devil is speaking all these lies in your mind. Do you know you cannot get that job? Do you know you will not be properly settled, successfully settled in life? Do you know? And the devil will be pumping you with all those lies. Do you know you're going to die soon? Do you know this thing that is moving in your body? Do you know it's a sickness? Do you know it's cancer? There are many people who don't have cancer, but already in their minds they have cancer. In their thoughts they already have it. And guess what will happen? Eventually, that is what is going to happen to them. Because your life will go in the direction of your thoughts. It's only a matter of time. God said anything they imagined to do will not be restrained from them. Anything you are going to accomplish in life, either it's positive or negative, where is it going to start? Here. Everybody say here. Put your hand right there. That's your temple. That's here, right here. That's where, yeah, I can see that my boy is doing that. And it starts right here. This is where it starts. If you are going to succeed or fail, this is where it starts. If you are going to live or die, this is where it starts. If you are going to go up or go down, this is where it starts. So you see, why does God give us His word? It's so as to change our thought processes. It's so as to delete the negative information from our mind and upload fresh information. Is someone listening to what I'm saying this morning? This is very important. Now, let me show you somebody's story in the book of Job. Now, if you know the book of Psalms, then just before the book of Psalms, you can get the book of Job. The book of Job, chapter 3. If you find Psalms, right before Psalms is Job. Job, chapter 3. Don't forget that your life will go in the direction of your thoughts. Your destiny will go in the direction of your thoughts. This morning, we're going to pray. Some of you need to destroy some evil thoughts that have been planted in your mind as seeds by the enemy. Because those things, eventually, if they stay there, they are going to germinate and it's going to bring forth fruit. And it's going to ruin what God is trying to do with you. So you have to destroy those thoughts, get rid of them, and replace them with positive thoughts. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now look at what happened to this man. Job chapter 3, verse 25. This is what Job said. He said, "For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me." The thing which I greatly feared is come upon me. And that which I was afraid of is come unto me. Do you see that? The thing which I greatly feared is come upon me. So Job had a great fear. And what happened to him? Eventually, what he was afraid of came to him. What he was scared of eventually happened to him. If I open up your minds this morning, what are you afraid of? What is your fear? What is your deep-seated, deep-rooted fear? You know, the Bible said God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. But if you allow fear to persist in your mind and to prevail in your thoughts, that fear is eventually going to happen to you. I had to pray for a man one time. What happened to him is that in their family, people die, and they die young. They reach a certain age, and then they die. And it's like that, 1, 2, 3. So they just died, and then when he spoke to me and told me about this, and his younger brother had just died back in Nigeria. The first thing I told him, I said, I can see that you are afraid. He said, yes, Pastor, I'm really afraid because I think I'm the next person. I said, if you think you are the next person that is going to die, then start getting ready. Go write your will and prepare your heart, prepare your wife and your children because you are going to die. He said, Pastor, are you saying I'm really going to die? I said, yes, you are really going to die because you are afraid and you think you are going to die. And as long as you think you are going to die, there is no pastor on earth that can help you. You really are going to die. He said, what do I have to do? I said, you have to delete that thought. You have to replace that negative imagination with a positive one. That's the only way you can be helped. You don't even need prayer. Just delete that negative imagination and replace it with a positive one, and then you'll be fine. He said, is that all? I said, that is all. And thank God the man is living up till now. He's not dead. The strongest nation on earth is not America. It's not Australia. The strongest nation on earth is your imagination. Somebody say, my imagination. Your mind, your thoughts are stronger than what you know. This man said, the things that I was afraid of has happened to me. Look at the next thing he said in verse 26. He said, I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came. This man imagined trouble. This was Job. Job was a rich man. He was prosperous. God blessed him. God helped him. The Bible said he had 3,000 camels. 3,000 camels by today's estimation will equal 3,000 farm tractors. So this guy was into large-scale mechanized